So let me tell you about a recent admission I got from an employer during a deposition. This is an unpaid overtime case where the employee is alleging that she was working upwards of 10 plus hours a day, coming in before her start time, staying after her end time, but she's only getting paid for 8 hours per day, no matter how many hours she worked per week. She was an administrative employee, like a secretary, and thus she is not exempt from overtime and should have been paid overtime. So, of course, the employer denied everything, denied that she was working beyond 8 hours a day, denied that she was owed anything. The employer maintained timesheets, which the employee signed at the end of each week and basically indicated 8 hours per day. So the employer claimed, well, these timesheets are accurate. This is maintained by the company. The employee signed these documents. Of course, these are accurate. You may be wondering, well, how do you get a company to admit, how do you get the CEO to admit that these timesheets are inaccurate? Earlier in the deposition, the CEO said, everybody works from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. So I started asking him about the physical layout of the office. Does everybody walk in the door at the same time? That's not physically possible, he admits. Does everybody arrive at the exact same time? Wouldn't you agree that sometimes employees arrive maybe 15 minutes early or 10 minutes late? Commute times are unpredictable. People don't arrive at the same time. You're right, he acknowledges. And wouldn't you agree that sometimes an employee may be trying to finish an email, they'll stay 10, 15 minutes later in the day just to make sure they finish the email. You would agree with that, correct? Correct, the CEO responds. So just in that moment, these seemingly innocuous questions are actually potentially damaging admissions because the employer is acknowledging that employees are sometimes showing up 15 minutes early, sometimes showing up 15 minutes later. So in the situation where an employee arrives perhaps 15 minutes late to work, are you docking them 15 minutes of pay? No, I'm still putting that they worked 8 hours a day. Okay, so then in the situation in which an employee shows up 15 minutes early and begins work, is that noted on the timesheets? It's not noted on the timesheets. The timesheets only show 888. So then the next series of questions are where the damaging admission comes. Employers in New York are required to maintain accurate records of employees who are not exempt from overtime. That means if an employee works 8 hours and 30 minutes in a day, these timesheets need to indicate this time period, or fractional time it's called. These timesheets clearly don't show any fractional time, yet the employer admitted that employees are working fractional time. Thus, there's an inconsistency in his testimony where he said the timesheets are accurate, which destroys his main defense, which is that the timesheets are accurate. I'm highlighting this to show that you don't always need hard evidence in order to win the case. You sometimes just need to score a damaging admission, and it could lead to a settlement.